It's very glad for us to be here together, to learn a bit more about our doctrine, about the gospel, and let's be really thankful for one more opportunity we are having here in our group, and for that let's always thank the benevolent spirits, God first, Jesus, our divine guide, and all the benevolent spirits that are always here with us, directing our studies and helping us, sustaining us. And yes, we are having one more opportunity today. And if we are having this opportunity today, it's because of a series of many other opportunities we had in our lives. And we could say that the root of all of them is the first and the greatest opportunity we've all had of the reincarnation, of this present reincarnation. So, today we are studying this topic, reincarnation, in the Spiritist view. But before we go along on the topic, let's refresh some concepts. It's important for us to refresh them. And the first of them is about Spiritism being inserted in the bigger picture of spiritualism. So, Spiritism shares with the other religions and philosophies, spiritualist religions and philosophies. It shares two common concepts: the existence of God and the immortality of the souls. But among the other principles of the doctrine has its own principles, its own practices. And one of the most important is that third one there, reincarnation. The law of reincarnation in Spiritism. We have all the other two that are so important, is that we spirits, we incarnate in different worlds, not only in this planet Earth. Also in Spiritism it tells us that it's a reality, and it explains how it happens, the laws that rule it. It tells us about the intervention of the spirits in the physical world. So, someone here may be asking how Allan Kardec, the codificator of our doctrine, came to the Spiritist concepts. So, we can briefly say, very briefly, that at first Kardec did not believe the table-turning phenomena. However, he was a man of science and invited to witness those tables that were answering to questions in the social meetings, gatherings in the Society of Paris at that time. He very soon began to ask questions to the tables. And proposing questions to the tables, he got answers. And he could perceive that behind those phenomena, there was a cause, an intelligent principle. Okay? So, it was just a hypothesis at first, okay? But Kardec's hypothesis proved right when the very table answered one day that the people who died, they were using the tables as a means of communication with the incarnate one, okay? So, after a couple of years, Kardec could compile thousands of questions and the answers given by the spirits In those conversations that happen through several mediums, thousands of spirits communicating in many parts of the world, not only in Paris. So, what Spiritism chiefly brings us is a life-changing and consoling conviction that nobody dies. That's a life-changing and consoling conviction. Nobody dies, no. We will continue alive after the death of our body. We will meet again, here or in the spiritual realm, and we can communicate with each other, incarnate and discarnate. Okay? So, but Spiritism is not only consoling because of that conviction that nobody dies. Spiritism is also consoling because it tells us that we are not just the result of just one life. No. Our present life now is just an episode of an enthralling series about an immortal and beloved spirit. That's our story. So that was the part that I would like to refresh with you. Okay, we have talked about this before, but it's important for us to continue on this topic of reincarnation. And let's now try to break this reincarnation topic down a bit. Okay? And nothing better to break down a topic like this than begin by history. Okay? And we could say that historically speaking, the theory of reincarnation is as old as the history of man. Okay? Reincarnation is a most discussed idea among common people, among great thinkers, among philosophers, either religious or not. Okay? For thousands of years, we, humankind, we are thinking about reincarnation. We are discussing about reincarnation, though we are thinking about it in different ways, and sometimes in some very contradictory ways among themselves. Okay? And what history shows us is that this concept, the theory of reincarnation, has been studied for more than 6,500 years in our history. And we can see the concept there in ancient Egypt, the cause for the mumps, for example, we could say. Also in millennial India, and all the religions derived from Hinduism, it's present there. The ancient Jews, they believed that man could live again somehow, though they didn't have the right idea how it would happen. Okay? And when we go to the Gospel, to the New Testament, we see that Jesus' disciples, they had this idea in their minds. For example, in one passage, when Jesus asks them, who do you think I am? What they ask? Oh, some say that you are John the Baptist reborn. Others say that you are Elias reborn. Others that you are Jeremiah reborn. And others still say that, you are any one of the prophets. So we can see that this idea of reincarnation was among them. Okay? Though in a specific way, but it was there. Okay? So, Jesus, as a Jew, and having the core of his teachings to us the future life, the spiritual world, or as we see in the Gospels, the heavenly kingdom. Okay, Jesus taught about reincarnation. He always used to talk with his disciples about this. Once he told them that John the Baptist was Elias reborn. In another occasion, he told a Pharisee named Nicodemus, as Rosanna has already told last week, he told Nicodemus that a man needed to be born again in order to get to perfection. So it was present in Jesus' teachings, this idea of reincarnation. Okay, and we could skip some centuries because we are not staying here just talking about history of the idea of reincarnation. And let's go directly to the 19th century. And there in the 19th century, we would find spiritualism. We would find theosophy together with the Spiritism. The next century, the 20th century, we see an emergence and an expansion of many reincarnationist religions throughout the world. An example is anthroposophy that appeared in Germany in 1913 as a descent of theosophy. Also, Seitinoye and Jurei, or the World Messianic Church, they were founded in Japan in the 1930s. Okay? So we see the presence of this idea among us. That's the purpose of this flyover history here. The Greek philosophers, they wrote about reincarnation also. Okay? So we could now want to know, well, it's so present, if it's so present in our history, do you have an idea how many people believe in reincarnation? Do we have? Yeah? Some minds very soon ask this question. And yes, we have surveys, we have polls, we have research. And I picked up some just for us to get this idea in number. Okay? And let's go there. In a survey done between 1999 and 2002, they found out that in Western Europe, 22% of the respondents to that survey, they said they believed in reincarnation. In 2009, another survey found out that 24% of the Americans believed in reincarnation. And what is interesting here in this one is that they found out that of those 24% of Americans, 22% of them, they were Christians. And this is a theme for another talk, okay? Just as a curiosity for us to begin to think about it. And gladly, yes, I found some surveys with Canadians. It's important for us. We live here. So I found out one in 1969 that found out that 26% of Canadians said, answering that survey, that they believed in reincarnation. And the number was even greater in 1990, was 31%. In one online survey, the last one there, done between 2011 and 2015, the survey found out that up to 1/3 of Canadians answered that they believed that somehow they would be reincarnated. That's so important. That is so, they are so expressive numbers for one theme that is connected to our spiritual half, and that we sometimes, and most of the times, we don't take care so much as we take care of our material tasks. Okay? It's very expressive. And yet, in order to answer that question, how many people believe in reincarnation, another survey decided to pay attention to that group of Eastern religions that have reincarnation as a fundamental belief. And what they found out is that they concluded that the followers of Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Shintoism, Sikhism, Jainism, all the religions derived from Hinduism, they totaled a number of 1.4 billion people who believe in the concept of reincarnation. And in percentage, about 19% of the world's population. It's very expressive. I found out it's very expressive. But here today, we are studying reincarnation according to Spiritist concept. And in Spiritism, we cannot think of reincarnation from the point of view of those Eastern religions, okay? Because their concepts of reincarnation differ from Spiritism. And why this happens? This happens because other concepts in those doctrines also are different from the same concepts in our doctrine. For example, the concept of soul. The concept of soul first. The root concept of soul. Okay? Some of those Eastern religions, they believe that the soul can reincarnate in an animal body as a punishment. Other Eastern religions, they also teach a kind of pantheism. That at some time, at some point in the evolution, the soul blends with the whole of the creation and the creator. Okay? And there's not a judgment of value here. We are not judging the value of any religion. There is no better than the other. What we are doing here is just acknowledging that there are differences in the concepts. And it's, for example, the concept of reincarnation in Spiritism does not support those ideas that we have just mentioned. Okay? And the concept of reincarnation in Spiritism, You arrived in the best part, okay, Beatriz? The concept of reincarnation and Spiritism. We could briefly take this. Reincarnation in Spiritism, meaning the return of the spirit to corporeal life. Human corporeal life. Okay, human life. The multiple existence that we can have in our path, evolutionary path. Multiple existences that can happen in this planet Earth, on this planet Earth, and on other material worlds. Okay? And here I will bring Professor Cosme Massi to help us. Okay? Professor Cosme Massi, I don't know if he talked about this, if it was in our study with him. However, I read or listened to any of his lectures, and he teaches us that to understand the logic of a law, we need to consider it in the context of the science it has been formulated. Okay? So, why? Because there are other concepts, there are other terms, there are other ideas related with that only have meaning inside the theory they belong to altogether. And he tells us that, for example, we cannot understand the concept of reincarnation in Spiritism just by going to a dictionary, because we can be led to wrong conclusions. Because when we go to the dictionaries, we find for the words different meanings. For reincarnation, it's the same thing. And I did that. And I went to some dictionaries, and I went to Cambridge. And among the meanings given there for reincarnation, I found this concept here. A person or animal in whose body a dead person's spirit returns to life. Okay? This concept does not apply to the concept of reincarnation according to our doctrine. Okay? So that's what he was trying to teach us, that we can be led to wrong conclusions when we try to understand a law of a science just by going to a dictionary. So, to understand reincarnation, we need to understand the logic of the law. And all the terminology used inside the doctrine, inside the theory. And it's not so difficult because Kardec thought about everything. He put up a Spiritist vocabulary for us. And we can find this vocabulary to help us in our studies in the Medium's book, in the chapter 32. We can go there. There are many terms for us to understand what's the meaning of that term when used in the body of the doctrine. Okay? So, we have talked about soul, the concept of soul. It's important in the understanding of reincarnation, the law of reincarnation in Spiritism. So, let's see the concept of soul in Spiritism. Very briefly, okay, we are just going very briefly. When Kardec asked the spirits, what is the soul? They have given a very brief answer. The soul is an incarnated spirit. Well, it's a straightforward answer. However, for us to understand reincarnation in Spiritism, we will need to know many other details about the soul. For example, we will need to know how the soul reincarnates. Okay? We will need to know, does the soul keep its memory after it reincarnates? Its spiritual memory? How the soul connects to the body? How does the soul disconnect from the body? Okay? What happens to the soul when the soul is there in the time in between incarnations? Okay? Many other details to help us to understand reincarnation in Spiritism. So the point that we are stressing here with this is that we need to understand the Spiritist concept of soul if we are to understand the concept of reincarnation in Spiritism. Okay? For example, so to speak, in Spiritism we never say I have a soul. Yes? What do we say? I am a soul. I am a soul. Okay? I am a soul, a individuality that never dies, that keeps its achievements, moral, ethical, intellectual, okay? So, and this is not a theory. This concepts about soul is not a theory. For example, how they say here, an article of faith of Spiritism. It's not. These conclusions were based on the observation of the facts. Apparitions, communications, the proofs of identity. We have many research about proofs of identity now, that we have lived 160 years after the publication of the first book of our doctrine in 1857. Okay? And in the Spiritist Review, I found this text here that brings some details important about us, soul, spirits incarnated. The spirits tell and Kardec, when Kardec expresses these ideas, those are conclusions from the observation of the facts, from the conversation with the spirits. So Kardec wrote there in December 1859 in the Spiritist Review, what has been acquired in knowledge and morality the soul does not lose. If the soul does not advance, it does not move back either. That is why it cannot go back to animate the creatures inferior to humanity. So that's why we said before that the Spiritist concept of reincarnation does not support those concepts that they have about soul and reincarnation in the Eastern religions, with no judgment of value, just acknowledging there are differences. Okay, and if we are talking about this logic of reincarnation in the Spiritism, we could develop this subject a bit. Again, according to Professor Cosme Massi, to understand the logic of reincarnation, we need to look at it in the context of the whole doctrine, okay? With the other laws, not only with the other terms, with the other laws that are important in our doctrine. So, for example, we would need to bring this law of cause and effect that tells us that for every effect there is a cause. Because this law allows us to find the connections, to find the sequences between the events in our life, okay? And here we could say that some causes are easy to find. For example, it's cold because it's winter. Or we could rephrase this. It's cold here in Vancouver this year because spring has forgotten about us. And summer is coming alone. Okay? Just to joke a little bit with these easy causes. Not so easy this year to say that we are in the spring, we are in the spring, but we still have cold. But cold does not belong to winter, but rain does not belong to our winter, okay? Okay, but let's skip this. Okay, but and the other difficult causes, the other more complicated causes. Yeah? The disabilities, or the geniuses, or the tragic accidents, or the huge disasters that we heard and we see, or all those differences that we see in life, okay? Alarming differences we see in the world. Well, in the Spiritist concept, if there is a soul, okay, and the situations differ when the soul is born, and we cannot find the causes that for those differences, in the Spiritist context, we are led to try to find the causes in a previous time, in a previous life, in previous lives. Okay? But to explain those differences, okay, to explain those differences, we could combine here another law, the law of justice. The law of justice that tells us that we are the only responsibles for everything that we live, that happens to us. Okay? And we can go on and bring yet another law. We can bring here, to build up this logic of reincarnation, we can bring the law of progress. Okay? The law of progress makes it easier for us to understand that the soul never loses its achievements. So, if it has acquired values, as we had read before, values of intellect, values of moral, it cannot go back because of this law of progress. According to the spirits, they say that reincarnation is founded on the principle of continuous evolution. Okay? And what is very interesting is that when we bring these laws of justice, the law of progress, they, together with the law of reincarnation, they help us to see that our lives, they are not only just consequence of previous lives. No. Our life has also a purpose of evolution, of progress. Okay? We reincarnate also to create new and better causes. Okay? To conquer, to incorporate to our spirit better values, virtues. Okay? So, we begin to find the rationality of all those laws together in the body of the doctrine. Okay? And here we have this book, Heaven and Hell, the fourth of the codification. Okay? Part 2, Chapter 8. Why did I bring this here, now, at this right moment? It's because one of the posts that I read, one of those posts that I brought the result here, they found out that many Americans who believe in reincarnation, they believe in reincarnation based on second-hand experiences. Oh, then I said, oh my, the Spiritist books of the codification, they are so rich with numerous second-hand experiences that Kardec collected in order to help us to understand, to better understand the logic of reincarnation, the logic of the doctrine, and as a consequence, the logic of the laws inside the doctrine and the logic of reincarnation. So I would like to share with you one of the stories that I found out in this chapter in Heaven and Hell. And it tells us about Zimmel, a poor Jew that lived in Vilna, Lithuania, and died there in May 1865. Okay? Zimmel, for 30 years, he begged in the streets of Vilna. And he was known for sure by everybody in town. And though he had no family, he was alone in the world. The day he died, many great people in town, they followed his bier. And even the shops, they shut their doors down. when the funeral was passing? Well, Kardec, getting to know this story, that it was a real story, he evokes the spirit in one of the sessions of the Spiritist Society of Paris in June the same year, 1865. Okay? And what happens? Well, I will make long story short here, because I really would like you to go there and read the long story. But what I can tell you is that, let's go there. Zero good actions, okay, begging, not for him, begging for the needy, widows, the orphans, the sick, for 30 years. Those good actions helped him to expiate, to atone a previous life that he had been, in his own words, utterly pitiless for the suffering and the misery. To say the least. You are going to read the story there, the long story. But his good actions in that life did not only serve as expiation of a previous life for Zeno, also helped to create new causes of goodness for him, and helped to attract the consideration of the people in town, but not only of the people in town, attract to the support of the good spirits, that even before his incarnation, that present incarnation, they were already helping him to take those decisions of that difficult life, because that would be the right path for him. And Zeno never failed his good decisions before his incarnation. And what is most beautiful is that the good spirit's help never failed him either. Okay? So I really recommend those readings, because the storytelling of the spirits, these real cases, these real second-hand experiences, they can really help us to understand the purpose of reincarnation, the logic of reincarnation, according to Spiritism. Okay? And they can really help us to understand reincarnation as a law, as a natural law. Just like any other natural law. Just like gravity, for example, we can't escape from it. We can't escape from reincarnating. Okay? And that is what the spirits tell, that we can't escape, that incarnation and reincarnation is a natural law. Is that what they want to mean when they say that God imposes incarnation as a tool to reach perfection? Imposes mean it's law, it's the law. It's God's law, the divine law, or we could say the natural law, or we could even say the universal law. But it's law, okay? But the spirits not only tell us that incarnation is the tool we have to reach perfection for us, ourselves only. They also tell that incarnation also requires us to contribute to the general good, to contribute to the work of creation. They also tell us that. Okay? So what this means is that everything is connected in nature. It's connected by this divine providence, that we can say that, acting through its own laws. Okay? I perfect myself, and at the same time, I help the general good, or vice versa. I help the general good, and at the same time I perfect myself. Okay? So, again, this goal of perfection again show to us how reincarnation is connected to the law of progress. Okay? It's this continual progress. Okay? Nobody gets worse. Okay? We never go back. That's why we have this understanding in the Spiritism, because all this reasoning, this logic reasoning, based on the observation of the facts, the real facts, the Spiritist facts. Okay? But the Spirits also tell us about the purpose of reincarnation. They tell that reincarnation is expiation for some and mission for others. But when they say mission, they are not only referring to those missions of relevance for the good of all society, those great missions. No. They are talking about us. They are talking about mission in the broad sense of mission. Okay? They are talking that we all have accomplishments in life that are really important for life, for our own life and for the general good. Okay? They also say that sometimes our experiences mean expiation or atonement, and other times they mean trials. Okay? And yes, we have many lives, okay? And each life we go one step further in our evolution, in our progress. And we sometimes experience expiations because we are responsible for the results of our actions, okay? And we also, not only this responsibility idea, but we also need an opportunity to mend ourselves, to make amends with our loved ones that sometimes we offended. Okay? And sometimes we offended very hardly. We never know. Okay? And sometimes our experience are trials that help us to generate better spiritual effects. Are trials that help us to test the learning, even the learning that we had when living in the spiritual realm, in between incarnations. Trials that help us to get rid of the bad emotions, the vices, and develop the essential virtues. Until we get to the point that we'll master our emotions, we'll master our desires, we'll master our sentiments, to the point that we won't need these corporeal kind of existences anymore. Okay? So, this is the greatest challenge for us spirits. Okay? Walking this ladder of evolution. Okay? Ladder of evolution. But there is another very important thing about the purpose of reincarnation. Because when we bring those ideas of justice and progress, those ideas connected to reincarnation and incarnation, they help us to rule out this wrong understanding that expiations are punishment, okay, imposed upon us. No! This idea of punishment, when we begin to understand our doctrine, is not present in Spiritism. Responsibility? Yes, always. Love? More yet. Okay? But never punishment. Okay? So when we go to those second-hand experience, that I hope that you are very curious to go to that chapter, okay? We find, for example, in the case of Zimmel, that some expiations, they are voluntary expiations. We choose when we are in that time in between incarnations, we choose the experiences that are better for us. And when we read the communications of the spirits, what they say, what they tell about their experience, we see that most of the times we do choose And the beautiful part of it is that we have the incentive, we have the support, we have the help of the good spirits that so much love us. Okay? So this we can see by reading those second-hand experiences. That's why many Americans got inspired in second-hand experiences. Maybe, and that's why they begin to think about, oh yes, this idea of reincarnation is a good thing to think about it. Okay? Sometimes we even choose difficult trials. We don't have to expiate, but we choose difficult trials. And there is one case there. If you go there, you see Adelaide, the name of the spirit. She tells in her communication that he chose those difficult trials she had lived in her life because she wanted to advance faster. She was tired of going slowly, okay? And she wanted to go faster. That's why she chose those experiences, those trials. So, we come to the conclusion that, and the more we study our consoling doctrine, we see reincarnation always with this light of hope. Okay? Reincarnation being and meaning hope in Spiritism. Because Spiritism brings this different perspective to this millennial idea of reincarnation. Okay? Spiritism shows us reincarnation represents always new and positive opportunities. Okay? Spiritism tells us, helps us to realize that all the experiences, the challenges that we live in this present life, they are not a burden for our spirits. Maybe they are difficult, for sure, but they are not a burden for the spirit. Because they are, moreover, they are protection for us. They are comfort, always positively associated with new possibilities of self-fulfillment by our action, our work in the good, not only for us, but for the general good also. Okay? So reincarnation is hope for us, immortal spirits, because there comes a time for all of us that we repent. And we begin to make different plans for our lives. And we need to put those plans into action. And yes, we may be sure that we have help. We have the support of the good spirits. And also we can be sure that we are highly capable of changing what we are, what we have been, if we devote our efforts to change our inner nature to a more loving nature. Okay? Change it to a more loving nature takes time because we are apprentices of love yet. Okay? We are apprentices of love, however, when we abide to those duties that we can find, for example, in the moral teachings of our doctrine, we can raise our feelings. We can open space to allow this divine love that inhabits us to blossom. Knowing always that our springtime is now, is this present time, is this present reincarnation. Okay? We never forget that. And may God help us to be always attentive to this reality of ours. Thank you very much. Beautiful tree for you. An apple tree.